Today I'll be making some alkaline vegan cavatelli pesto pasta. Let's get started. Over here I have about 2 cups of fresh basil. We're going to start by plucking the leaves from the stems. Also, since we're not going to be cooking them, we need to make sure they're clean and free of bugs and debris. Since these have long thick stems, I like to break them off so I don't end up with too much fiber in my pesto. You don't have to break off the stems. You could use the entire plant in your pesto, but that's just how I like it. You don't have to throw the stems away. You can actually blanch them in hot water for about a minute and then blend them and add them to your pesto. Or you could just add them raw if you don't mind. Since alkaline vegans don't eat garlic, I'll be replacing garlic with some scallions. I like to add scallions to my alkaline vegan pesto because they have a slightly milder flavor and aroma than, let's say, an onion. I'm going to start by cutting off the ends of the bulbs. I think I cut off too much, but that's okay. If you want to, you can remove the top layer, which is a transparent membrane. Most people like to remove them, but I don't mind. Once you're done, you could cut your scallions into smaller pieces so they can fit into your blender. So another thing alkaline vegans don't eat is pine nuts. So today I'll be replacing pine nuts with walnuts. Add a 1/4 cup of previously soaked walnuts to your food processor. Process until you get something like this. It's up to you if you want to go larger or smaller. For creaminess, I'll be adding about 3 tablespoons of shelled hemp seeds. Next, we can add our scallions. Add 2 cups of fresh basil. You can squeeze them in, that's okay. Next, we're going to add some salt to taste. Since I'm not using raw onions, I'll be adding a tablespoon of granulated onions. Granulated onions will add a mild onion flavor and some mild sweetness. Next, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of cold pressed organic extra virgin olive oil. Once everything is broken down, you can add about 3 to 4 tablespoons of organic coconut aminos. We're not heating it up, so it's okay. Process one more time, give it a taste, and check the consistency to make sure it meets your needs. Now check this out. This is a delicious 100% alkaline vegan pesto. You can add it to an airtight container and store it in the fridge. It should remain fresh for up to a week. I know it's not traditional to make pesto in a food processor or a blender, but sometimes you have to go with what's convenient. Traditionally, pesto is made using pestles and mortars. Unlike the ones I have over here, the pestles and mortars are typically made from marble or granite. All you do is add the ingredients to the mortar and grind using the pestle. It requires some patience. Over here, I have some wet kamut pasta dough which I've pre-kneaded. I made it the same way I made the dough from my alkaline vegan fettuccine pasta recipe. If you haven't watched that video, you should go ahead and watch it before proceeding to the next step. As I mentioned in my video from last week, nothing beats fresh pasta. Cut off a small portion from your pasta dough. Typically, cavatelli should be shaped like a hot dog bun, but I have a different idea. You should start with a smaller dough than the one I have right here, but I like my cavatelli really chunky. You'll see. You want to start by rolling out the dough with your palms until it takes on the shape of a thin rod. Ideally, you're supposed to roll this out to about 1/4 inch in diameter, but this is how I like it. Next, cut your dough into shorter pieces of about 1/2 inch to 1 inch long. They don't have to be perfect, just do your best to keep them similar. So this is what they look like. You could cut yours shorter, longer, wider, or narrower. It's up to you and how you like it. This is a cricket bat. I'm just kidding. Over here, I have a gnocchi board, and it's a cheap tool that you can buy anywhere online. I'll leave a link in the description box below. If you can't afford this, there are other alternatives and I'll show them to you. I'm going to use these ridges on the tool to make grooves on the pasta. The grooves on the pasta will help make the sauce adhere better to the pasta. Keep in mind that this shape is a hybrid between a gnocchi and a cavatelli. Pick up your dough, place it lengthwise and parallel to the groove of your gnocchi maker, then press down using your thumb and roll. As you can see, this shape is like a hybrid between a gnocchi and a cavatelli, and this is exactly how I like it. It's thicker, it's heavier, and it'll fill you up quicker. When you're done with your first batch, sprinkle some white kamut flour over them to stop them from sticking. If you can't find or afford a gnocchi board, you could use the back of a fork. It will yield a different groove pattern, but it works. All you have to do is place the fork tip side down, then roll the dough over the back of the fork. Now if you can't afford a fork, you can use a table knife. And if you can't afford a table knife, you can use the tip of your index finger. These three methods will yield similar shapes with and without grooves. I'm just messing with you. Your internet connection is fine. When you're done, your pasta should look like this. Set your dough aside and place a large pot on high heat. Add some cold water and bring it to a boil. Add some pure sea salt to taste. Once the water comes to a boil, add your pasta. Be careful so you don't get scalded by the water. Immediately move the pasta around so they don't stick together. Let it cook for 2 to 4 minutes or until done. Once your pasta starts floating to the top, give it a taste because that's a sign that it's done. Once your cavatelli is done, take it out of the water and place it in a separate bowl. Let's dress this. Add some of your fresh pesto over your cooked cavatelli. For me, I'm going with about 2.5 tablespoons. You could add more or you could add less. It's up to you. Add some hot pasta water to loosen things up. Give it a good mix to make sure all of your pasta is properly coated in your fresh pesto sauce. If you're enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you. You could serve now when it's hot, or you could wait for it to cool down and serve later. This is a very easy pasta recipe that I'm hoping most of you will get to make. The ingredients I used in making this recipe are all fresh and organic, and they work together to make this beautiful dish right in front of you. If you happen to make this recipe, tag me on Instagram. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next week. Real quick, let me show you something. So, remember how I said cavatelli should be shaped like a hot dog bun? Well, this is what it should look like. It should have a gap in the middle for trapping sauce. Also, it should have ridges in the back to enhance sauce adherence. Let me show you a quick way to make it. This time, I'm just going to tear off a small portion of my dough and shape it up using my palms. I'm not rolling it out on a working surface because this is a quick video to show you how to shape cavatelli. Now all you have to do is roll your dough on your gnocchi board and it should come out looking like a canoe or a hot dog bun. This gap in the middle is where you place your thumb when rolling on the gnocchi board. To make a long one, all you have to do is cut your dough to about 1.5 inches to 2 inches. Then roll on your gnocchi board using the entire length of your thumb. There you have it, a long cavatelli pasta. You can compare it to the shorter one I made earlier. Most people like it smaller and thinner, but as I mentioned, I've never liked it that way. I always like it thicker. Now go make this, and remember, perfection is the enemy of delivery. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you enjoy my fresh fettuccine pasta recipe. Click on the link above to watch it.